I'm going to let Tom take the wheel here and
That's right.
give the minute to win it.
That's right, minute to win it, guys. And we got a special episode today. I mean, I don't want to give it the complete spoilers, but first of all, I've been gone for a while, so I want to say I missed you all. John, of course, sorry to be bailing on you so much recently. It was a busy one for old Tommy D over the
holidays, man.
We had ourselves a little COVID scare in the old Divine house, and then we were out of town, and we did all sorts of stuff. Luckily, everything's fine, and we were able to hunker down and get past it and still go on with our lives and have a good Christmas. So it's exciting to be back though, talking comics. I have a ton of things to talk about, and we have a really cool episode because yes, it's New Comic Book Day. Yes, we got new comic books. Yes, comics came out today, and I went to the new wall and I picked them out. And yes, John, our comic book sensei, not John Runyon, our Nordstrom, gave me some great recommendations like always. But more importantly, we just wrapped up on a whole entire year. So let's take some time to break down what happened in this year. You know what I'm saying, Johnny?
Yes. First of all, I got to say the most important thing that happened. What am I doing, though? I haven't even opened the show yet.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Sorry.
Whoa. Also, before I open the show, Sergeant's checking in. Minutes.
Oh, yeah. Minute.
All right. Well, let's open the show up, you guys. Per tradition, best drum roll I can manage on this glass desk, and I literally cannot even really drum right now because it's that messy. It's horrible. So, hey everybody, it's a comic book. Look, it's your boy Jon on Demand, aka Cobra, Commander's favorite officer, part of the crew. Just got done having a beer with Baroness. It was nothing. It was cool. It was fine. We were just talking about, everything. And of course, you guys joined by co-CEO Tom Devine. There can only be one. Proudly sponsored by Rainbow Comics. So thank you for the amazing partnership and employment. And with that, yes, you guys, it is the first episode of 2022, which is huge. But I was going to say the most important thing that happened is this shirt. The brawl that ended all. You guys, this is Unicron versus Galactus for the planet eating contest. That's pretty important right there. At the bottom, faster. At the bottom, it says presented by the Watcher's Planet Sauce or something weird. It's so funny. So I just was like, I got to have the shirt. I love Galactus. You know how I feel about this.
Of course, dude. That's so cool, man.
Aaron's checking in with us here from Minnesota. Did you know, Tom? I think we talked about this. Aaron is actually working at a comic book store there, too.
Nice, Aaron. You're the man, dude. You guys are like... Now, cohorts,
Yes, so he is just crushing it and loving life. Aaron, good to see you. Thank you for stopping by and checking in with us. Yes, we have a steep itinerary tonight and a bunch of randomness to talk about. Tom, I actually spoiled it in the description.
Good, yeah, I won't. Well, let's bust it out right now. John, what makes this show so important? What are we doing?
We are going to be talking about the top 5 comics that we got in 2021, and that's a tall order. A year is a long time. A year is a long time for collectors.
It is, and to say that, to do the top, I originally, we were kind of shooting back and forth, what should we do? And I said, maybe let's do 3. And then I panicked today when I was making my list, and I was like, John, can we make it 5? Because I can't fit only 3 on my list. So,
and I hadn't even started my list yet, you guys. Like, I was like, oh yeah, 5. I was telling Amanda, like, I haven't even come up with my 3 yet. So, like, I'm over here like, yeah, that sounds great, Tom. Yep, that's fine. But no, we came through. I'm excited. I have not told Tom what I'm talking about tonight. I also don't have my copy of Dark Avengers 1 to slip in the stack. Oh, how did that get there? I was going to do one of those. And I
yes, dude, of course. It's still a funny joke. Even
the thought was there, Tom. Yeah. It was certainly there. Catching up on comments really quick here. Bill's just checking in. Hope we have a great show. We'll need to watch the show later. Looking forward to seeing your best of picks. Bill, thanks for swinging by, man. Always good to see you. Sarge checking in. Adventure Man is my number 1.
Really, Sarge? That is great. Adventure Man.
Yeah,
that's still number 1. Yeah, I mean, it lost me after the first issue. So yeah, I'm glad that you held on. That's awesome, man.
Aaron's giving a shout out here. Check out Comic Book College in Minnesota, best comic shop in the state. And not saying that because I work there law. It actually is a really cool shop. I had a really good time there when I was there. This was before Aaron started. If Aaron was working, I would just be like, oh my gosh, show me all the things. Just like that. Like I talk with my hands like this when I go to other shops. Let's see. We got 6 sidekicks on the bottom of your top 5 or in general?
On the bottom of his top 5.
Okay.
Come
I was
on.
like, come on, Sarge, come on.
They printed
Oh, snap. And we got Mr. Matt checking in with us here. If you guys need entertaining ghost investigating video game streams, I laugh so hard every time I watch it. So, yes, I love. So, yes, thank you, Matt, for checking in. And Derek is here. Stray Dogs have... Oh, it cut off. Stray Dogs pave the way. Okay, gotcha. Pave. Boom. Yep, we on it. We're good.
We on it. All right. Woo! So, because there's gonna be
the chat's hot tonight, you guys. Woo!
And it's gonna get like that, John, because this is going to be a controversial episode. We're talking top 5, and if you know anything about comic book fans and people that like comic books, it's that everybody has a really strong opinion and they're right and most people are wrong. That's not them. So I mean, our top 5 list, guys, remember it's me and John's top 5 list. So it's not going to be yours, but we do want to hear what yours are. But don't put us down just because we like something different than you guys. Let's all just show that love, and let's show the love to the books that we're doing. And we can we'll get to the books that we picked up today, but I say we jump right into it, John. And let's start off with our number 5 book of the year.
Okay, I didn't know we were tiering this shit.
Well, you don't have to. You don't have to.
Okay, mine were just top 5 in general. Like I did not. Fine. Yeah. Okay.
I did tier mine, so I'm going to keep mine tiered. But you just know, people, that John's is just at random. Any of these could be his number 1.
Yeah, like these are all my hearts, like my Zelda hearts. Yes. All right. So with that, who's going first?
You hit it up, John.
Okay. All right. Well,
and then I'll go first on the next one.
Okay. In no particular order, this first one technically did not come out in 2021, but its supplements did, I think. And the show, I encountered it. This would have been from earlier this year. I want to say I freaking loved it. But you guys, I crushed the Sweet Tooth Compendium, as well as Sweet Tooth The Return, the follow-up to that. And I got to say, I did not read the singles or anything. So if I were to go back and watch our old episodes, which I am horrible at doing, sometimes I do, but if I were to go back, Tom is preaching about how awesome this book is. And I'm just over here like, we're Dark Avengers, and this is something that if I go back now and watch our old episodes, Tom was right. What the hell is I reading? Tom was right. I will be saying that a lot. And this is one of those books. Tom read some of the singles, all of them. You have pretty much all of them, right? Yeah,
every single one. It's one of the first I picked up from beginning to end.
Like you were preaching about this, and it was just something I just would not give the time of day. But like I am so glad I did. Compendiums are like my new favorite thing. If I can just crush a series and just get it done, I love it. Reading it over a couple of days. This was so much fun. This came out recently. Highly recommend it. So much. It was great.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah,
it was great.
I mean, that is such a solid pick. And to get, it had the wrap up this year, but for anybody, if this was the year that you read Sweet Tooth, I bet it would be in your top 5. I mean, it's such a good book, and it does the thing that, I mean, I've talked about this a lot, but I feel like I can't help but bring it up, how it subverts all your expectations. So when you think it's going to do one thing, the story goes in a different direction the entire way. And Jeff Lemire knows exactly what he's doing, man. So so sweet.
Boom. So that is my first one.
That's your pick. All right. My pick, number 5. I have so many books, guys. So first of all, this was really hard. I have a lot list, and when I'm done, I'm going to give some like shout outs to the ones that are honorable mentions, because it was hard for me to decide. But first, number 5, I'm going with Bunny Mask. This book it's from Aftershock. It was a book that I would really probably not normally pick up. I think the name is bad, and it's like it was kind of silly, but I was like, whatever. I had a small week. I picked up, I read the first book, and I was like blown away. It was so good. And I was like, what? How is this book called Bunny Mask this good? And then it just continued on throughout the entire series. And then it's finished. So you can, I think it's only 5 issues long. So good. Check out Bunny Mask. That's my number 5 comic of 2021.
Dude, that's awesome. All right. Up next, these were published, and it's really in honor of a Disney Plus show that I met early last year. Mm-hmm. So these were published after that, and I remember raving about them. So this is technically not new literature, but the trades were, and I scooped them up. And so we're talking
to us. This is what we read in
Vision and Scarlet Witch. It collected a variety of just old. Let's see, we got the Giant Size Avengers, Vision and the Scarlet Witch from '85, nice. West Coast Avengers from '85. Let me tell you what, when Vision calls her curly top all the time, like the dialogue is so 80s, and yes. I soaked it up. But more importantly, this was really helpful in just getting familiar with their relationship. Because I didn't read a lot of Avengers, you guys. I'm an X-Men dude. So this to me was more of a learning thing. And I remembered when Tom said, let's talk 2021 books, I was very excited about this. Yeah. And following up on that, this Vision storyline where there's the Vision family is so freaking sick and dark. And I loved it. I was here for it. And so I'm so glad I got to check this out. If you guys have not checked either of these out, these are so much fun. And it's just a cool look at the character. I did it in lieu of WandaVision. I just wanted to learn more about the characters. I love the relationship of magic and technology. I just think it's such an exciting concept. So to me, it was just a holistic no-brainer to throw these on my top 5.
Totally, man. Yep. I mean, it's that is such a perfect pick. It hit the year, it's that cool little section of Marvel that's been around for a long time that not everybody puts a focus on as a Marvel person. I mean, you should have this history anyway. So it's great that, this is the year that you got to put all that in. And I've never read any of those other books except for I read that Vision book, the Tom King one, but I haven't read any of those other books. It would be so cool to.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
We are getting some fun comments here, by the way, just stopping really quick here. Debbie's checking in. Hey, Debbie, you see John in the picture, the comic book sensei. John, you're crushing it as always. Thank you, Debbie. You're crushing it too because you're awesome and you're checking out the show. So thank you. Sarge says we forgot to invite Lemire to the show.
Oh,
we're texting right now.
Sarge, don't worry, I'll text you.
Good work. You get on it. Derek, big Vision and Witch fan. Good choice. Thank you. Yes. It's all about learning about the characters for me. And so that was a lot of research. And I enjoyed every minute of it. So it was fun. Yep.
That's great. All right. Number 4 for me is Made in Korea. Ooh. This book, how did this book happen? Okay, so this company Wookjin is creator of an AI. They make one that's a little too smart. It gets shipped out. They have to bring it back. But it's this whole story. It's like this Wookjin is very similar to, I've said it in past episodes, to like Umbrella Academy in Resident Evil, or to like Skynet for Terminator. They are this evil corporation that is going to bring down the world. And it is done masterfully well. Jeremy Holt here and George Shaw, I think those guys are just absolutely crushing it. Jeremy Holt, he's such a good writer. The way that he paced this, the way that it came through issue to issue, and then the really complex feelings, how you feel about the characters and what these characters are doing and the brutality of children. And there's so many great things. Made in Korea, it could have gone up even higher on the list. I'm putting it at number 4. So definitely, if you get a chance, check it out. It's also like 5 or 6 issues. Wraps up really cleanly. Image book. This company, I'm telling you guys, is it should be an infamous company. It was so perfect. It was so well done and played out, and the story building is done so well. So yeah, check it out. Made in Korea.
Dude, heck yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. Up next, I don't have a book for this because there's so freaking many of them.
I had one like that too. I can't find books for.
So I'm going to use this random Wolverine one that I have here, issue 17. Just the whole Krakoa X-Men thing.
Yep. I mean, If you weren't going to put it on your list, I haven't read it, and I was going to put it on your list for you.
It's interesting though. So I have enjoyed it, but a lot of the ones that I've enjoyed have ended. Yeah. So we are in that place now where I'm like,
it's time. Yeah.
And this is, guys, this is really awkward. When you work for a comic book store and you're broadcasting through the page, you're like, oh, all the books are good. All that. As a customer, though, I still have, my opinions and stuff. And so I will admittedly say that due to the ending of books and stuff like that, it really has led to some attrition, on my personal pull list. And I'm kind of bummed about that because we had a good thing going, Marvel X-Men. We had a great thing going,
but playing too much, so it's okay. You had that 2021 was the year of the X, and maybe it can be something else in 2022.
Right. It's going to be the year of the awesome. I don't know what that means yet, but we'll find out.
It'll be something.
So I just got to give it up, though, to that. And I've said it time and time again, just the overall encompassing story, the quality was there. Several of the teams were quirky and Hellions. Why are you putting these characters together? I loved it. It was so delightful. X Factor with North Star. Oh my gosh. Give me my Alpha Flight fix any day. So it was fun. It was very impressive. I can see quality is kind of starting to get a little rocky, but we anticipated that. And that's okay. So I'm really impressed with the accomplishment. It's like a MCU in its own right, just with how many titles they had that encompass this overall setting.
Oh, totally. And it was every week it would be there would maybe be the main X title, but then you'd be like, this is Marauders, and Marauders, and this is the best book I'm reading right now. And then it would be the next one, you'd be like, oh, I really like this Cable miniseries, or it's all of these different X titles that you've been talking about over the year. Yeah, I didn't know how you were going to put it together, because I was like, is he just going to pick X, whatever factor or something like that? And then but no, just call it the X book. So that's Yeah, you're right, man.
So that's a lot of choices. I know. I just love the overall story. Yeah.
And I agree. It had to be picked. Definitely. All right. So now I think my next one I might not have it. Yeah, my next one is Rain Like Hammers. I looked all around. I couldn't find any of the issues for it because they're in here in my
Tell them your filing system. This is great.
Yeah, it's in my filing system. I mean, God dang it, man. I want it to be better, guys. I really do. I want it to be better.
Are you still just putting them in boxes?
No, it's not even that. I'm just setting them on this table for about 8 months.
Oh, no.
Because I was like, I've got to put them in my app, because I'm on this CLZ with you now, and I'm trying to do that. I'm behind. It's just like, God dang it.
If you need me to come over and help, I've been doing it for years. So.
Something like that. Let me see it. This, I'm gonna at least pull up a picture of Rain Like Hammers. This is Rain Like Hammers. This was one of the covers, but it's this Brandon Graham. He does amazing stuff. It turns white, but I wish I had it. I don't. Brandon Graham is awesome, right? He is this indie person who is done, redid Prophet with this book that Rob Liefeld created and was garbage, somehow creating this hard sci-fi element. Everything he does pushes boundaries. It does not tell linear stories. It does not lay things out for you. You have to work a little bit, and I love that about it. I love that it doesn't talk down to me. It wants me to figure it out, lets me take away. And then I just love how the style, it's so stylistic. It's a huge play on Mobius and, but in this different way, which is now purely Brandon Graham. And there are a lot of people that even ate Brandon Graham now because he has such a distinct style. But yeah, Rain Like Hammers came out this year. He hadn't had a book last year. It was really nice to get a book from him this year, and it was really good. I can't wait to see what happens next year. Hopefully there's a bunch of in the work from Brandon Graham. But yeah, Brandon Graham, Rain Like Hammers. That's my number 3 spot.
Heck yeah. Marvin's checking in here. Marvin from Wednesday Comics podcast is in the building. Cobra hat looking good.
It is looking good, John. I mean, it's looking fresh. So.
I know. I try.
Hey, Marvin, I want to shout out Marvin right now, dude. If you guys are into countdowns, the reason that I've been kind of had this in my brain is because I've listened to all December long. Wednesday Comics has been counting down their favorite writers, artists, and then the last one was the top books as well of 2021. So if you want to hear what their books are, Garrett, Alex, and Marvin's, go check it out. It's definitely a different list than me and John's, and that's the beauty of comic books.
Yes. Oh man. All right. These next two, it's funny. I was saying I'm not doing a top 5, like, you know, 5th place, 4th place, whatever, but I'm really juggling between these last two. So this next one I'm throwing on here. This one's super fresh. We just talked about it a couple weeks ago. I gotta give it up to my boy Garrett Gunn.
Yes.
And Good Boy. And I got my cover personalized, and it says, "To Jon, the brightest rainbow of all." And I love that so much. Issue 2 was equally fun. And for those of you in the Sioux Falls area, both Christina Blanche and Garrett Gunn, the writers of Good Boy, are going to be at Rainbow Comics. I believe it's a Wednesday in the middle of March. We'll get the exact date. Doing a signing event, which is cool. So looking forward to that. And it was just so fun to meet Garrett. Like, he is just such a good guy. We had him on the show a couple weeks ago. I got to interview him. And it was just a really cool visit. And that to me means a lot when it's like you get to know the people that are behind the project. That's like my favorite. So Good Boy had to be in my top 5 just because Garrett Gunn's an amazing human being. Derek saying Good Boy rocks. Yes, 100%.
Oh yeah, man. Dude,
100%.
That's a sick pick. All right. My number 2, this was a tough one between number 1 and number 2 because, you know, mine are sequential and it was really hard to battle these two out. Depending when you ask me after which comic I read last, it could swap out. So, but number 4, I'm going with Strange Adventures. This book about Adam Strange and Mr. Terrific and Alana, Adam Strange's wife, is everything. This is like the Watchmen of this year, like in the terms of how good it is, how impactful it was, how it's it does this thing of having almost this huge twist that you just don't see coming, and with the twist you may be on either sides. I mean, I can see how you're on Mr. Terrific side. I can see how you're on Adam Strange's side. I can see everything. It was a much more intellectual book than DC Comics would normally churn out. Mr. Terrific is so fun to read about. I love everything about him.
Character.
Dude, he is such a great character. He's such a cool character. He's so underused in the DCU as far as I know. I don't read that much DC stuff, but man, I'll tell you what, dude, this book crushed. I can't wait. Human Target is happening right now. It seems to be the next little finite thing of some random character that Tom King's going to pull out. So I've been loving Human Target. I've only read the first issue. I got the second one, I think. But yeah, crushed it. This is the last. This was number 12 of 12. And when I got to this issue, it was like, wow. I was so good. So if you haven't read it, definitely read it.
That's awesome. All right. Well, this leads us to our number 1 spot. And again, mine were any particular order, but I did have to think of one that just had the surrounding memories and everything for me. So when we think about last year, it was a lot of not good, right? But there was a lot of cool stuff happening in comics. And this final one here, I went with Stray Dogs. Yeah, I did do the Goosebump style Baltimore Comic Con exclusive, and I love it so much. But the series as a whole for me was fun on so many levels. So first of all, it really gave us like this lighthearted, dark edge story that just really kind of brightened my day, like, which is really weird. It's fun to read something different and creative. On top of that, so stacking, Tony Fleece was at SuperCon, which is our comic book convention in town.
It has been for 3 years.
And got to get the trade signed. Not this one. I have Trish Forstner sign this one for me, but he hasn't signed this yet. But got to have him sign books. Got to watch him in panels. Just got to get to know him through his stories and everything. And he is just such an approachable guy. Like, I love that. And so again, it's getting to know the creator. But on top of that, getting this trade was my mission when I went out to Baltimore Comic Con, which is also where I got to meet the comic book bears. And so that trip in late October was so bomb and awesome. And it was just so much fun to get to hang out with Bill and Steve. They both know their stuff about comics, and so we were just bouncing off each other, having a good time. I spent probably way too much money at the show. It was amazing. And I can't recommend this series enough because of all the happy memories I have surrounding it, and also just because it's good fun. It's just something different. Break up that superhero fatigue a little bit. Yeah. And also, I will say, I got to shout out Bird City Comics. The Rainbow Comics exclusive is amazing because it's the Cujo movie style. I have that one too. But the Goosebump style is just hilarious to me because it just takes me back to these Goosebump books. And Bird City Comics, I met them at Baltimore Comic Con and they were super nice. So yeah.
Yeah, dude, that is so sweet. I mean, that book is so cool. Tony Fleece is a part of the Sioux Falls community as well. I mean, he's a Sioux Falls guy. That's so cool that now this dude who's, he's left Sioux Falls. He lives in LA. He's writing on many things, but his book hit this year, and his book that he's supported SuperCon, a con that me and John work for, and he's done these different things, and then he gets to have this time in the limelight and these huge sales to this book. So yeah, super stoked. Great pick for your number one, man.
Woo! Matt's weighing in here. The most gifted comic by me last year. That's awesome.
Nice. Thanks.
And, looks like you got it signed 15 minutes before my friend's flight. That's right. Yeah, Matt had to speed through, get a book signed, and run it to the airport for a friend that was leaving town through SuperCon. That was crazy. I do remember that.
I remember.
And then Derek's weighed in saying, hell yeah, plus nailed it. So thank you. Derek, we're on the same page.
Yeah, you and Derek, Derek likes your picks, no doubt about it.
That's good.
All right, my last one is best comic of the year, Layla Starr.
Whoa!
This book was next level, right? Yeah. This book is, so transcendent of like of storytelling in general. I mean, it's so it goes beyond what we think comics can do, what we think stories should do, what we think gods and religion can be for people, and spirituality, and all of these different amazing things told through the many deaths of Layla Starr, who is the goddess of death in Hindu culture, and then Hindu religion, and then she comes and nobody cares about her anymore. So now she takes the form of a human, and she learns human traits and human vulnerabilities, and the loss of life, and what it really meant to be this god of death. And it's told over these single issue beautiful stories that connect but are separated. And so here's Layla right here. This is her talking crow that kind of keeps her grounded. We see her throughout many different generations and times, but that's never broke down in a contextual way. Ram V, I had not heard of Ram V before this year. I didn't know Ram V as a writer. I ended up checking. It looks like I had bought Ram V comics before, but I never really paid attention to this dude. Now, if like Ram V writes something, I immediately am like, ooh, I'm going to be grabbing that. I got to check this out. And then he's been doing a bunch of cool stuff. He had a single issue of Silver Coin and some other stuff that I think everyone should check out. I think he's going to be, I mean, clearly he's the big hit. I mean, he wrote this year. I'm not the only one who thinks this is really good. I've ended up doing some just like some Google searches of Layla Starr, because I was like, am I the only person even talking about this? Does anybody else like this book? It turned out that it was like on a bunch of it's got raved reviews. So I'm not the only one, but I definitely suggest, if you guys are into something that's going to be a little bit different, something that's going to be more like, I don't know, 6 Feet Under from HBO, or like a movie like American Beauty, that, I don't know, these movies that are these stories that are just, slightly askewed from what our traditional stories are. That's what I like. That's what it draws me to comics. And this one is doing wonders. And then, on top of it, this is the comic book genre. So, art matters to me. And I really think we got a really stylized art that really points out the culture of India and what life is like in India. And having this whole book take place in India was so cool. I just loved everything about it. So yeah, Many Deaths of Layla Starr, best book of 2021.
Very good. Wow. Well, holy smokes, dude. I feel like we covered a good portion of the spectrum, if not all of it, in terms of publishers and variety. And wow. That's awesome. And it blows my mind. It really does, you guys. Like, again, the year felt like it was dragging in some regards. We actually had a lot going on. At least, Tom and I did for books and stuff. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what 2022 holds coming up. Also, Tom, I do got to call out. We talked about this before the show, but your shirt is so awesome.
Yes.
I'm just loving that. It's so great. Yes. Ah, gosh. Very good. Thank you guys all in the comments. Wow. That was a lot of fun too. I also, one other thing I wanted to shout out here is that Comic Crack is another YouTube show. He is often in the comments here. I didn't see him tonight. He might be listening in, but I had a chance to just circle up with him. Such a good human being, you guys. And so definitely recommend if you ever catch his channel, definitely tune in. It is so fun. He is just so fun to talk to. So we'll be having him on the show here. He's a friend of ours up in Winnipeg, so less than 8 hours away. And
That's totally straight north.
We were talking about that flyover country feel. Like, yeah, we're like between the two major cities, And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what we're at, like down here in flyover country. It's awesome.
Exactly.
But a lot of things moving and shaking here, and yeah, life's good.
Comic Crack, I can't wait to meet you, dude. John was telling me he was talking to you. That's so sweet. Well, I can't wait to get you on the show and we'll all circle up. It's gonna be fun.
Yes, awesome. Well, before we shut it down, what do you got?
I want to just say, I told you it was really hard to pick these books.
Yeah,
I was just want to give some honorable mention, shotgun style, of books that could have been top 5. Okay, that are really, really good. Stillwater, it's really good.
Yeah,
could have totally been top 5. Yeah. This book came out this year. This is the comic book look book.
What is the problem?
I didn't put it on there either because I put it as like number 1 last year.
I totally forgot.
Most of it came out in 2020, but it did end in 2021. So it could have still been in here, but no, this is me and John's favorite book. This is that ice cream spinoff. It's so good. And then Red Room. We got Red Room this year. This is a fucked up book, dude. I loved every second of it. And it just was maybe too much to put on the top 5. Black Hammer Reborn, Jeff Lemire. I mean, John had Sweet Tooth on it, so at least we represented him. But this is his current book that he's writing right now. It's so good. That Texas Blood, one of my top from last year. It was all about cults this year. So good. It just barely missed the cut. Orphan and the Five Beasts just didn't have enough. James Stokoe is my favorite artist in the world. His art is so fucking crazy. And I've got to find a double page spread because that's what he does best. If they have one. Yes. So he does these wild double page spreads that are just always so amazing. So yeah, I mean, definitely this was so good. And then last but not least, this could have been easily top 5. When it came out, I was talking so highly about this. This is The Nice House on the Lake. Yeah. I loved it. I still love it. It's just that the first 3 issues were like perfect. And then it's kind of gone and down some weird stuff. It doesn't exactly how I wanted it to go, but I still am on board. I still love every second of it. And it could have definitely been a top 5 book. So that's just my shout outs of 2021. Didn't make it top 5, but it was, they were cool.
My original book I was going to do, I didn't even do. And I just remembered it right now. So I'm so glad you did that. So this is beyond, this is my top 6th book because I'm giving myself an extra spot. But the artwork, the writing, Wonder Woman Historia. So I just recently read this and posted my review. 6 out of 6 beer rating, you guys. The writing is fantastic, but the artwork
I forgot I have to pick this up after you said that, man.
Yeah.
Got to.
Yeah, we got a couple of copies left, I believe, and so I can get one set aside for you. But dude, the artwork was just so engaging. It was so banging. And I don't read a lot of DC, you guys. I'm sure you know that. But like I don't, but this was just the most becoming book ever. Like I love the layouts.
Oh yeah,
and it's just it really reminded me that we don't need to drown ourselves in dialogue and letting the words guide us, but instead let the art tell the story. And it was so pleasing. I loved it. There's even a mention, so this is like Hera, and there's a line where it says she's basically the queen bitch. And I'm like, oh my God, I love this. So it's it's talking about like the gods surrounding like the Amazon tribe and stuff, or goddesses, excuse me. They are fantastic. Like I freaking love this series so much. I'm excited to get the next book or two. I don't know if it's a 3-parter or what, but yeah, highly recommend it.
Yep, I missed it, and I've heard you're not the only person I've heard rave about that. I got to get that book. So yeah, you're that's a good call. That's a good number 6 there, John.
Number 6.
Yeah.
So awesome. All right. Well, with that, Tom and I are really excited for things to come. We got some awesome guests kind of on the horizon. And if you guys are at all interested in participating in the show, just let us know. Send us a message, leave us a comment, whatever. We can be reached at acomicbooklook@gmail.com if you want to send us an email. And on the socials.
Before you cut out, I do want to say I started reading Swamp Thing, Green Hell. If anybody else is reading that book, it's like the bigger size book.
Yeah.
I want to know what you guys thought of it. So, hit me and John up either on any of the socials. If you're reading that book, if you've read number 1, I just want to hear, I'm on the kind of on the fence. I want to hear what people think of where it's at. And I'd love to hear other people's opinions. So,
well, I got my copy over here. I haven't
read it finish
yet.
It?
No, I haven't read it yet.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Read it before our next one.
Let's do it next week. Let's do it next week.
Let's talk about it on the next episode. Cause it's a weird
John.
Yeah.
We should get John Boylan up.
We should get John Boylan on there. Yep.
I'll message you. Yeah. Okay. The professor of Swamp Thing.
Yep. Yeah. And I need him on there because that is where I have some questions. I mean, I definitely do need John on here because it's a dystopian I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish it before you get into it.
Okay. Very good. All right. Well, we're going to shut it down, you guys. On the socials, you can find us collectively on the Twitters at A Comic Book Look, @ A Comic Book Look. If you're watching us through Facebook, you already know the drill for the group. But if you're watching us through YouTube, you can find us on Facebook in our group, A Comic Book Look, to continue the conversation. We'd love to have you. On the Twitters, I am @ John on Demand. On the Twitters, Tom is @ Tom Stu Divine. We would definitely love to hear from you. Connect. We love talking to creators. So if you know of anyone that's working on a project and they want to get an interview in, we would love to do that. We are proudly sponsored by Rainbow Comics, our local comic book shop here. I now work there. I previously did it. It's really crazy how life goes, and I'm loving it. But with that, we also we are at 42nd Minnesota in Sioux Falls for those that are in town and want to stop by. If you are in Lincoln, Nebraska, we got a sister store down there as well at 70th and A. So definitely stop by and say howdy there. Yeah, that's it. Tom, any closing words before I shut it down?
Nothing. Shut it down.
Comic Book Sensei is weighing in super quick here. I'll make sure he reads it. Yes.
Right. John's going to make sure you read that Swamp Thing book. Thank you, John.
Oh, me? I thought he was talking about Boylan.
Maybe he is.
Yes. No, John will keep me in line. He does that quite often. For those of you that don't know, that's my boss. So on that note, I'm going to retain my employment here. We will see you guys again soon. 2022. Thank you guys for sticking with us. We are approaching 11 freaking years of keeping it comics, and it's all thanks to you guys. So thank you. We are very humbled to hit that 11-year mark this coming summer. And so we'll do something fun for that. But we'll be bringing you more awesome content coming up as well. So until next time, we are going to go ahead and save the world, and we're going to keep it comics in 2020.